Good morning and welcome to UticaTV News, where we give you the latest news of Utica's campus and community. I'm your host, Nico Leonard.
And I'm your host, Leola Beck. Let's get into it.
WKTV reported that a 12 and a 13-year-old were detained last weekend on Edward Street in Utica after police responded to a robbery investigation. When the officers arrived, the victim stated that she was eating and the children came up to her asking for food. When the woman refused and got up to leave, she was pushed from behind and the children took her purse and other belongings that she was carrying. After providing a description of the suspects, officers conducted a search and were able to locate two individuals who matched the description on Sunset Avenue. They were also carrying the property that was stolen. The officers detained the suspects and they were placed in the care of their guardians, and the stolen items were returned to the victim.
As the Tangerine reported earlier this week, Utica University's Pioneer Cafe will feature multiple different local restaurants throughout the rest of the academic year. Located next to the Strebel Student Center and right underneath the dining commons, the Pioneer Cafe will be the place to be. Currently, the cafe has a schedule of local restaurants that will be stationed there starting from Tuesday to Friday. On Tuesdays, Grapevine will be setting up shop with their Mediterranean specials. Wednesdays and Fridays, we will see minor fine Indian cuisine, and Thursdays will be Taco Thursdays, as deli tacos will be in the cafe. This is just the beginning, as more local restaurants like It's a Utica Thing are planned to join in on the action in the future. Each restaurant will have a slot saved for their days in particular, but they may not be there every week. So make sure to check the cafe to see if your new favorite restaurant is open for business.
On September 29th, the town of New Hartford unveiled the newly renovated New Hartford Veterans Memorial Park. It was accompanied with a ceremony that saw veterans, local government officials, first responders, and community members alike band together to pay remembrance to the fallen in our local communities. Our reporter Trey Manganero was on scene for the ceremony. Surrounding the memorial were a vast amount of fire trucks that displayed large American flags swaying in the wind. As the event began, Amazing Grace was performed on the bagpipes as members from multiple different American legions presented the colors. After prayer, a rendition of the national anthem, and a word from the event's main organizers, multiple local officials such as Senator Joe Griffo and Oneida County Executive Anthony Picente Jr. spoke about how much these brave individuals mean to everyone. After the remembrances, the Gold Star families of soldiers who had lost their lives and their loved ones were remembered and were given flowers as a thank you for attending the ceremony. At the end of the ceremony, it was announced that a monument would be built and placed on the memorial grounds, which will be honoring the lives of the 12 soldiers from Oneida County who were killed in the line of duty in Iraq and Afghanistan. It was a beautiful end to a beautiful day, as their sacrifices will be commemorated forever.
Utica University has just announced a new program called Pioneer Passport. This program allows qualified first-year students to attend the university tuition-free. Our very own host, Nico Leonard, went on scene for the announcement.
On Thursday, October 3rd, Utica University introduced an all-new tuition program, Pioneer Passport, for select first-year students moving forward. President Todd Fanasteel and Vice President for Enrollment Management, Eric Sykes, spoke on the new program.
I'm very proud to announce a new initiative that will provide an even greater level of affordability for working families in New York State. It's called the Pioneer Passport, and it offers qualified first-year students the opportunity to attend Utica University tuition-free. If you reside in New York and have an annual family income of $65,000 or less, Pioneer Passport will cover any tuition and fee costs that aren't met by scholarships and grants you receive from Pell, TAP, and other sources. When your application to Utica is accepted, just file your FAFSA and TAP applications, and we'll handle the rest.
The reason why we're doing this is because students are telling us this is their primary concern when it comes to their college education. How am I going to afford it? It's the top 3 concerns that students identify. They're all related: student debt, access to scholarship and financial aid, and moderate tuition cost.
When you combine this benefit with our affordable room and board costs, we believe Pioneer Passport will be a real game changer for New York families who work hard to make ends meet and are looking for the best value they can find for a quality higher education. It will strengthen our ongoing efforts to further reduce average student loan debt among college graduates as well.
I'm Nico Leonard with UticaTV News.
On the 1st, Utica University hosted an info panel called "A Voteless People is a Hopeless People." During the event, panelists talked about the importance of voting and encouraged students and community members to vote. Erin Woodman, NAACP chairperson of the Civic Engagement Committee, led the discussion by talking about the history of how voting came to be in the United States. Shortly after, keynote speaker Clemmy Harris, an associate history professor of Utica University, came to talk about the history of black voters and why it is especially important for minorities to vote in this current decade. If you have not yet registered to vote yet, all New York registrations have to be completed by October 26th. If you are mailing in your registration, it needs to be received by the County Board of Elections by the 26th. So make sure to register early. Once you have registered to vote, early voting in New York starts on October 26th and ends on November 3rd. Election day is November 5th. On this day, polls will be open from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Go vote.
The last week of September is always reserved for Banned Book Week. The library held their annual Banned Book Read-In on September 25th. The read-in consisted of books banned in schools, stores, and libraries all over the world that have been challenged. Some surprising titles you may recognize include Harry Potter and Captain Underpants. They held discussions, readings, and debates about the importance and power that words can have. They also highlighted the importance of freedom of expression. You can learn more about banned books by visiting ala.org.
Utica University hosted an electric car show last week. The UticaTV crew stopped by to learn more.
On Wednesday, October 2nd, Utica University held an electric car showcase to celebrate National Drive Electric Week. We spoke to Associate Director of Technology Support Mike Clapstill and Theater Professor Rachel Wolf about their vehicles and why they went electric.
So every year, National Drive Electric Week is sponsored by a number of EV-related companies, and we wanted to spread news and awareness. There's a lot of misinformation out in the news about range and EV fires and things like that. So we're out here to answer questions for people and show off our vehicles in case people have questions.
And I have this car because I am a giant greenie and would not like to pollute the air while I drive. So several years back, I started saving up my money to try and trade in my gas car for anything that was all electric that I could completely replace my gas car with. And so I wound up going with Tesla because they have this nationwide network of charging stations that would allow me to do big cross-country road trips and things with an all-electric vehicle without having to keep a gas car as a backup. And they also, the model that I got has all-wheel drive, so it's good in the snow around here in upstate New York, and basically does everything that a gas car did do for me. And so I was able to do that trade-in, and now I run this mostly off of solar I collect from my roof, and I just feel better about doing my bit to help with global warming.
I'm Nico Leonard with Utica TV News.
That is all the Utica TV news we have for you this week. If you want to stay informed on what is happening on our campus and in our community, give us a follow on our YouTube page.
And be sure to follow us on social media at UticaUTV and visit our website at uticatv.org.
Thank you so much for watching, and always remember to
Fear the moose.